Carl Story here, talking with New Japan star Rocky Romero, who is kind enough to take a few minutes off his day to talk to us. Rocky, how are you doing? How has life been during this pandemic? I know, obviously, for the past month or so, you've been extremely busy, not just with New Japan's return and with the Lions Break Collision shows that you've been working, but also with Talking Shop and Mania and the upcoming New Japan Strong show that's going to debut tomorrow as of the day of this recording. So how's been everything with you?
Good, busy, a lot busier than I expected to be. In the beginning of this pandemic, like everybody else, just kind of everything stopped. There was a moment where it was like I would wake up and play video games all day, and it wasn't too stressful in the beginning. But then all of a sudden, I got bored. So then I started taking all these projects on, and then slowly the world started coming back a little bit. So it's like now it's just like all day busy, busy, busy. So I kind of miss going on tour, which I just have to worry about just wrestling, So
Yeah.
I kind of miss those days, but this is what we're doing now. And it's exciting because it is an exciting time and new opportunities have presented themselves that wouldn't normally be there. So I think it's kind of cool. I'm enjoying it. It's just been, it's been a little hard work, but it's been good.
One of the, I guess, little projects, I don't know if you would consider this one that I'm about to mention a project, but one thing that I really enjoyed was was your New Japan English video lessons that you were doing a couple of months ago that I thought were really funny and very, very good. For anybody that's curious, check it out on the New Japan channel. They're very, very enjoyable. So I'm curious, where did that come from? Was it one of those ideas where, like, you were born, you just wanted to try that out and you kind of pitched out to New Japan?
They pitched it to me. They pitched that one to me, and I thought it was kind of like a little goofy. And I was like, is this what people want to hear? But then it got like really rave reviews from the Japanese side, like the Japanese fan side, on New Japan World and on the YouTube page. So they said, "Oh, it's kind of a hit with the Japanese fans. So would you want to keep doing it?" So then that's how it kind of turned into just doing more and more. And then on the English speaking side, I should say, it wasn't as well received. But then when we started to do the mix of both languages, then that started to be a little more well received on the English speaking side. So kind of cool to make content for both, which is not, sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's just purely the Japan content, sometimes purely like English content. So it's like kind of cool to try to do both. It's a hard thing to do when you're trying to please both fan groups in a way, especially with something like that. But I just tried to make it fun, and it was silly, and only a couple of minutes. So I appreciate that. You're one of the first persons in an interview to actually point it out. So everybody else was like, I don't want to watch that. So that's cool. I appreciate it, man.
They are, and you make them very fun with the ways you give out examples with the Rocky Romero autographs and then the Rocky Romero matches, and you trying to do the Okada pose and you breaking down the whiteboard. I remember that one.
That really happened, and I just left it in. I was like, so yeah, that became a staple. But they were a lot of fun. I got so much stuff going right now; it's kind of hard to probably do them. And now that New Japan's back on a regular basis, they're probably not needed as much, but I could see that returning, sometime in the future, maybe as some kind of something, so maybe it's the start of something, even when we get back to some normalcy, then maybe I'll be doing them in Japan with some people. I mean, I think either way, it's something that I think it's an idea that we can grow something off of as a spinoff for maybe Rocky Romero on New Japan World or YouTube or something. I want to be a YouTuber like Yano and Liger. Liger's like killing it. He's already got like hundreds of thousands of viewers. He got 3 plaques on his wall. I'm like,
Liger has somehow managed to keep himself as relevant as he was in wrestling. I mean, that just goes to show how incredibly talented the man is.
Right. No, very good point. Because couldn't have said it better myself, because the dude is so talented. He's just like great at one thing, revolutionizes one business and goes to another, and he's just revolutionizing another one. So yay for Liger.
So speaking on New Japan being back, obviously a lot of people New Japan fans are excited about what's been going on in Japan. But over on US side, we just had the 4-part Lions Break Collision show, and now on August 7th is the start of New Japan Strong, which is going to be the new weekly US show that New Japan World is going to have, and it's obviously going to start out with the New Japan Cup USA tournament, and it's a very exciting time, especially with the wrestlers that are involved, which is very good considering the pandemic that we got going on. Not everyone's going to be available. Kind of what are your thoughts on the New Japan Strong show and the overall USA expansion that New Japan has been trying to undergo for really about a year, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, I mean, the expansion, obviously, it's had some really great highs. I think, obviously, Madison Square Garden last year was a great high. The G1 in Texas was a great high. I mean, I think some people thought that maybe it was a low just because, I mean, in the fact that we drew like 6,000 plus people or something like that. But I think everybody on our side thought it was a complete win because it was like, we just drew 6,000 plus people. I mean, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So then just, to bounce off of that, to do MSG and sell that out, that was, a huge deal. And we would have been doing MSG this year, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, that didn't happen. But, I'm hoping for next year, once things get back to normal somewhat, then, we can be back to it. But, I think in the way that kind of New Japan is they'll take, whatever the situation may be, they quickly maneuver to try to make the best of it. So we saw that in Japan when Japan came back and re-debuted before they had the 1/3 crowd, but they took that situation, came back with the New Japan Cup. And then on the US side, coming in with Lions Break Collision, who I think Lions Break Collision was, the best pure professional wrestling show, out there right now. Very simple, easy to digest, 2 matches, 30 minutes. So now we're just going to take that concept and then really add some pizzazz to it with some big names, like you said. Obviously, New Japan Cup USA, first time the cup has been done in the US, and I think it's really cool. And it's a great way to start off NJ Strong. The names that have been announced: Tama Tonga, Loa, Kenta, Chase Owens, Jeff Cobb, Brody King, David Finlay. I mean, so we're definitely not slouching in the talent division at all. Not all, like you said, not everybody is available. Obviously, we have our Japan counterparts and everybody's over there. And then for our US based wrestlers, we've got quite a few, and there's going to be some really nice surprises as well with talent that will be joining New Japan Strong over the weeks.
I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially with the show kind of now. It's, if I recall correctly, this is now it's not going to be like Lions Break where it's just going to be 4 episodes. That's it. It's just going to be the new permanent weekly show, right?
Correct. Okay. We'll be taking over your Friday nights right after SmackDown.
That'll be a very nice transition from SmackDown to New Japan. Right. I don't know if the time slot was on purpose or not, but it is a very nice thing to not have to choose one or the other, or have to watch both at the same time. Right. And you're not really watching both either if you're watching both. No,
I can say that it was definitely done on purpose, because not only does it play Friday night, so East Coast 10 and then 7 on the West Coast, but in Japan it's like noon or 11 a.m. or noon. So it's like Saturday morning, early Saturday, kind of get your day started, watch an hour or so of wrestling, and then move on with your day, So I think it's pretty cool. And it's also great to for the really hardcore fans. So now that we haven't been having events back in Japan, you can kind of warm up that day and kind of see what's going on in the US. And really the Japan audience is really taken to the Collision show, because we also have Shibata and Tanahashi doing the commentary. So that's really cool. So it's been a great way, I think, for the Japanese fans to see kind of what the US side has, what they've been doing, and what they've been working on, and the wrestlers how they've been developing. Because I mean, look at like Carl Fredericks was a great example of being on the Lionsburg Collision show. He really took the ball and ran with it, and really grew a lot in those 4 weeks. And you can see where he was right before the pandemic to where he is now. And I think it's really cool. It's a great way for a lot of people to get a shot, where they wouldn't get a shot. Like in Japan, you see like Sho has ran with the ball with the opportunity that he had against Shingo. And a lot of people have really stepped up, Desperado as well. So it's like, here's an opportunity with this pandemic for guys who would kind of have to really go through it all. And it would probably take a lot longer to get to where they are. And then within a few short weeks, they're already making these great strides.
So one thing that I also wanted to get your thoughts on, that I think a lot of people, at least in the West, on social media has been very, very vocal about, and that's been and very divided on, is the introduction of the KOPW title that Okada introduced. That I thought was very, very interesting. It's unlike what a lot of people associate New Japan with, and I don't know if you saw this morning's show, but we kind of saw Okada kind of be the first man to introduce the first stipulation, which was him against Yujiro Takahashi in a 3-versus-1 handicap match, but it would be Okada in the one slot while Yujiro gets 2 others. So I'm just kind of curious on the bizarre, I don't know if bizarre would be an insulting word, but it's certainly an unorthodox title that Okada introduced lately.
Right. I think, if it's going to ever happen, maybe now is the time. You know what I'm saying? I think that, having a limited roster is probably a good time to introduce something that maybe sounds super crazy on paper, but we really won't know until we actually see it too. So, so I feel like, obviously the thing about it is in the end, New Japan will always be the traditional New Japan, right? Like it's not going to change. And even having just one kind of element to kind of break up just how traditional it is, it could work. It could go, maybe it won't work and it'll go away. But I think it's an interesting and good time to try things like this, because you may not get the opportunity like this to try different things. And I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I think it's just one way, and I think it kind of evens the playing field a lot, right? So I think it evens the playing field between juniors and heavies. I mean, having a stipulation match could be a benefit. Like if I'm wrestling Okada, maybe I can come up with a stipulation that might be in my favor, that maybe now we've leveled the playing field where like I couldn't beat Okada in a regular one-on-one match, right? But maybe if I can think of something that's kind of out of the box and unique, and maybe that puts me in favor, it could make things a little more interesting. And like Okada is like the epitome of a professional wrestler, right? Like he, and maybe one of the greatest professional wrestlers that we've seen. So I feel like maybe let's check it out and kind of see how it unfolds before we jump to conclusions and see, because it may work out. Hey, it may completely flop, but I think it's worth taking the try and swinging the bat.
So what stipulation, if you had the chance to sort of participate in one of these types of matches, what stipulation would you introduce? It wouldn't be a boneyard match, would it?
No, it definitely wouldn't be a boneyard match. I would probably, I want to do like an exploding barbed wire match. Like I want to be like, it's just not me. It's just something that's totally not me. But I would do something like, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to try to do like something super out there. You know what I'm saying? That you wouldn't expect from me. Just, I think something like that would be like just crazy, like once in a lifetime type thing, Give me Moxley in a exploding barbed wire match.
I mean, hey, you guys are both of you are in the U.S. I mean, it's not unreasonable. So
right. You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know. Last thing before we gotta kind of let you go, there anything that you want to plug? Your social media, the Talk and Shop podcast, the Talk and Shop pay-per-view, which is, if you're a pro wrestling fan, it is one of the most interesting shows that you will ever see. And I don't know if I'm putting it.
You can say that it was the worst thing, worst piece of garbage you've ever seen. Hashtag worst pay-per-view ever. And I think that we lived up to that. You know?
I think it did for all the right and the wrong reasons.
Correct. You know, truly the brainchild of Luke Gallows, but you know, Anderson and I helped to you know, bring his brainchild to life. And you know, for us, we're talking shop is just, you know, three best friends just having a good time. And you know, hopefully we'd like to bring you, you know, like the audience in with us, you know, on it. So definitely Talking Shop-A-Mania is a great representation of that. More of them maybe than me, but like I like to support my friends. So but yeah, you can find it now on Fight TV. It's it'll be there all month. Once you buy it, you can watch it forever. You know, you have it forever. It's also on traditional pay-per-view, DirecTV, Dish Network. So you can check it out there. It's like $14.99. I think it's worth the money. So far, people have said that, you know, we've gotten some really, really amazing feedback. And I you know, so much that I think we're going to probably have to do a number 2. And me and Carl are like, oh, please don't make us do this again.
I mean, the people want Talking Shop-A-Mania 2 Electric Boogaloo, so.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, there's been so many names pitched for the second one. Part Due, you know, like Hot Shots or whatever. I don't know. It's more like a Hot Shots airplane kind of thing, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. The podcast hits every Sunday on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And it's just, you know, we're just three best friends having a lot of fun. We drink some beers, talk a lot of crap, tell stories. And you know, it's a sports podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously.
And those are the best kinds.
I appreciate it.
And Rocky Romero, New Japan Stars. You can check out New Japan Strong on New Japan World starting August 7th at 10 p.m. Great shows if we're to go by what's been going on with the Lions Break Collision show. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Rocky, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.